Today on Eventapalooza, our guest is John Lafferty, and we're diving into his favorite event and what makes an event stand out, and how you can apply these same lessons to any event you're planning or producing. Welcome to Eventapalooza, the podcast where we talk all things events, experiences, and the people who bring them to life. Welcome, John. I'm super excited to have you on the podcast today. You've been driving the development and direction of events from a few different roles for several years now. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about your background?
Started out as a local stagehand, turning a wrench, which I fell into when I was in college and was performing on stage and musical acts and that kind of thing. And I realized I didn't have enough money or time to have money for time to do those things. So I started becoming a stagehand because my professor said, "Hey, you seem to be good behind the scenes since you can't be on stage as much as you'd like to be. And would you like to give it a whirl? We've got Janet Jackson coming in and we need more stagehands over at the local arena." And so that's how I began in working in entertainment, and did that for a few years while I was a stagehand there. Transitioned into somebody from the venue said, "Hey, would you like to try removing snow from this arena?" Okay, sure. Did that. That's how I started getting into the operations of buildings, event coordination. Did that at a 12,000 seat arena for a while, then moved on to a convention center, Minneapolis Convention Center, for almost 8 years. I was there as the night manager of that facility, later to roll into guest services and security for the location. My background on that came as a fallback from my military police background. And good old U.S. Army told me how to do a few things that way, and later turned into a good asset to work with police, fire, medical, security services, guest services, coat check, ticketing, all the fun things that come with that. Then rolled into another venue where I had a convention space, small arena. And then I went out freelancing and been working in freelance up until the last 7-8 years, where I worked for several different security companies around the United States and now around the world. Been doing sports, entertainment, hospitality for quite some time, with the focus on guest safety, life safety, security, and crowd movements, with always carrying the hat of the old stagehand guy and the building operations person. So that's best nutshell I can give to it.
That's great. I mean, the stagehand aspect, I mean, it's, the nuts and bolts of what's going on. So I'm sure you can spot things that don't look quite right. And yeah,
I'll give a great little example to that. The most recent event that I did, we had a couple of speakers who traditionally have protesters who their tendency is to hang banners, and that's a known thing that does happen with certain speakers, different ways that protesters like to at least make a silent type of protest. The great example here, going back to those stagehand days, is I'm walking it, looking into the steel, looking into the chain motors and what have you. After everything was set, lights are down, I'm shining a flashlight up and noticed a burlap sack that was wrapped around one of the I-beams. But it was wrapped around it and like electrically taped really tightly to it. And I said, that's not right. Burlap sacks you put up there to hang your steel on and then your motors on and what have you. Having something sitting like that, and it was symmetric on either sides of where the stage was. So I pulled in the production team, and I just said, help me understand this. Is this just a lazy rigger who just chose to, tape it up there for the future? Is this an ongoing preset for you? What is it? And come to find out, it was a lazy rigger who never cut the tape off. And it was just, it was set that way to make sure that when the bridle was rubbing against the steel, it didn't, hurt the bridle or the steel. But to your point, having that background and doing, the ground rigging and understanding what should be up there, what shouldn't be up there, has played really well into this.
Yeah, I was expecting you to say it was a banner wrapped up there and waiting to unfurl.
That was my initial thing, and I'm looking at it. So you can see all the other burlap, again, lazy riggers who just didn't pull it down, but it's usually just a little swatch. Nothing like
Yeah.
this where it looked more purposeful. It was just not for the purposes in which my security mind was taking it.
Yeah. Wow. That's killer.
Yeah.
So, what do you have a favorite conference that you've been to or worked at or
Boy, there's so many and so many different
Mm,
variations. I'd say some of my favorites really become my favorites because of the people I work with.
yeah.
You know, Tim, honestly, the people I met you through are some of my all-time
Mhm,
favorite as clients. The team at Cloud Native and the Linux
mhm,
Foundation folks, just really great people, great family of people, and the experiences that I had with them in the small events that I was, traveled around the world. You and I are in some of those same places from China
mhm.
to India to you know uh,
Yeah, Tel
Tel
Aviv.
Aviv. Yeah, I mean all of those places where you look back
Yes.
at it and you go, I would have never had those experiences had it not been one for that client, but two for that camaraderie that we had and as co-vendors and part of that family. That's a great bunch of people. The more recent one, again, Adobe,
Mhm,
because it's Adobe. It's not because of the
mhm,
product line. It's because of the people and the professionalism of the humans that I get a chance to work with there. Just a great myriad of people. And, I'm just one vendor in the larger cog of a very large machine in a very large organization. But
mhm,
the people I'm dealing with are, former alphabet soup people from the CIA, FBI,
mhm,
diplomatic services. They are phenomenal human beings that are experts in their field. And then I'm also working with the partners with GPJ. So George P. Johnson has
mm,
the contract as the agency and a lot of the heavy lift that takes on that. But they're just some great people to work with. So to answer your question, ultimately, there's a lot of events I've done over the years, but it really comes down and the ones that are most memorable are the ones I've worked with and the people.
Yeah, it's the hallway track,
Yeah.
all the people. Yeah.
Totally.
That you're, you mentioning that just made me, think back to our time in Tel Aviv where the one guy got upset at some of the production people and
So
looked like he was gonna yeah.
he grabbed an easel and he was like swinging an
Yeah.
easel around at people. He just lost his
Yes.
mind.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And it was just one of those quick, it's time for you to go. Time to go home.
Mhm.
Anywhere but here.
Right?
Yeah,
A little exciting, but everyone was okay and it all worked out and
it did. But to
cl
your point, I'm never a person that likes to upsell or oversell something,
mm,
but having someone in your pocket that their entire purpose in life is to you know, look out for those stupid things that happen or the things that
mhm,
could happen. You know, I akin it to things like when we were in India and I'm walking around as the one of my roles at the Minneapolis Convention Center was a fire marshal.
mhm,
And during that time, it's approving floor plans. I'm walking around
mhm,
in this small conference space, yeah, it's small relative, 2,000 people, 2,000 seats, no aisle. The chairs were against all the
mm.
doors. And you shake your head going, how, if there's something that happens in the middle of this place, everyone dies. And,
Yeah.
having someone there looking for those things, I think is imperative to everyone's life safety and someone who takes that on and wants to own that. It's kind of that family aspect where you've got big brother kind of watching out for everybody else.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I'm focused on capturing the event and getting video going.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about aisles and yeah.
Yeah. Your world comes down to where do I put this small stage to put my camera on where there
Yes.
already is no aisle. And I
Right.
thank God for shorter people, right? Um,
Yes.
sometimes you just have no place to put those cameras.
Yep. Yeah, India was fun. Didn't we get locked in a conference room and have to wait for the venue to come let us out at one point?
That could be. I remember there
Mhm.
was a room. This was in Bangalore, I think it was. That they locked us. They locked the doors, and yeah, somebody had to come because they locked it from the outside, and you got stuck in. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Oops, forgot the key.
Right. Quick call Central Command.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Uh, yeah, it really is the people
Mhm.
ultimately, because the people make or break the event, and
Absolutely.
because I mean, we're all there in a short time period to accomplish a pretty big goal,
Mhm.
and as long as everyone's pulling in the same direction, it really tends to go well. But when people are not, yeah,
Yeah, it's that knowing that someone might have to come and knock on your door for that lobby call at 4 a.m. because you have to sit on a bus for 3 hours to get to the venue because it's India and that's
oh
just how long
yeah,
it takes in the shuttle. Knowing that there's someone there that cares, or hey, you're not feeling well, how do we help take care of you? And those are
hmm
things that really make a difference.
yeah, right. When in in Shanghai,
Oh,
when one of my crew got pneumonia,
yep,
yes,
great,
ended up in the hospital, and
great
yeah,
example. That yeah, didn't even think about it till you just brought it up. Yeah, great example. He had the issues. The language barrier was, you know,
hmm
nothing that anyone could get through. It was not easy. And then where do you go? That is going to be a more Western type medicine and someone who can speak.
right,
And
yeah,
and then the follow ups, right? It's following up each night and having that
hmm
client that cares enough that, oh, you're not just a vendor, you're our vendor, and you're here. We're going to make sure that everything's taken care of. It's huge.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I know he appreciated it.
No, it's
I
well worth
did.
it. Well worth it. And that's I look at it this way, whether you want to call it the golden rule or you want to talk about, just being right by the people. It's
hmm
would you want it done for you?
Yeah, please,
Please, right?
please come
Please,
check on me. Yeah,
just make sure I'm okay.
yeah. To yeah, Sean, um, our local contact there, really helped uh direct us through that situation, and I'm so thankful for him. And
Yeah.
then you with the follow up. I'm super grateful about that. And yeah, it was. I just like we followed the ambulance to the emergency room, and the nurses. I mean, I'm sure they could tell we were pretty stressed because at one point one of them goes, "Take care, you're in good hands." And I mean, it's like, thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot. A lot.
that was intense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, well, from a video capture perspective, just knowing you guys had our back in those situations allowed us to. It was one less thing we had to worry about, and we were able to do our jobs and focus on them without worrying.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
you're welcome for that. And in my opinion, whether it's you, and it's not to diminish what you said, because you're welcome, but at the same token, whoever we're working with, you guys were very unique in the fact that you're working till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes doing editing. Um,
hmm
Whether it's someone else who's working till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because they're working on a project on the client team or what have you, and they're going to
hmm
be staying in a room late at night, knowing that, keeping tabs on it, telling the local folks, whether it's in the United States or out of the country, hey,
hmm
someone's going to be in this room until this time. It's okay that they're there, but check in on them,
Right.
and having those touch points, just at least somebody to rap on the door that someone's looking, someone's got your back.
hmm
It's huge. And again, it goes back to I would want that for me. So,
hmm
make sure I provide it to people who need it.
hmm Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, well, that's about it for me. But
Sure.
do you have anything you want to add?
Not, I mean, I could probably go on for hours. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this type of work for 30 plus years and been
hmm
able to go the gambit, right? From doing a lot of convention trade show work to, being on a music tour to
hmm
multi-music festivals in excess of 100,000 people. So, being around all of those things really brings it in perspective. And at the end of the day, to be able to balance that with life, family, friendships, is what the business that we're in, even though my line might be security and safety and yours might be, capturing content. It's
Hmm.
it, it's all the same. It really is, and we're all dealing with the same nuances, whether it be a spouse who hates you today and loves you tomorrow, whether you're home or not. Kids who are like, "When's Dad ever coming home? And what's the
Right.
toy he's bringing from the last place he was?"
Hmm.
It's it's trying to keep the calm amongst the chaos that
Hmm.
all are suckers for and masochists for. I mean, there's not a better term. Masochism can go way off the radar and way into a really strange place, just the word
Hmm.
itself. But I can't describe the events industry any differently than that. You have to love it and continue put
Right.
yourself through
Yes.
somewhat the abuse, but a lot of times just the days. So that's kind of my 2 cents when it comes to, if you're crazy enough to want to get into this industry once you're in it. There's many
Hmm.
avenues to continue successes and learn in, but you have to love it. You just have to love it.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me.
Yeah.
Um, this is a slightly different direction,
Yeah.
but how's how's AI impacting security?
Multi ways.
Hmm.
I would say from a security standpoint, there's many factors, right? So you have the cybersecurity piece of it, which can
Hmm.
have an impact, and there can be
Hmm.
impacts that come along with it from a trade show type of standpoint. What we
Hmm.
see is the elevation of protests, the elevation of threat, not in a mass casualty kind of way, but more against brand, more against
Hmm.
opportunity of brand, because of people either have that fear factor of, oh my God, AI is going to take over, or,
Hmm.
it's not going to do enough. It's going to replace jobs. That
Hmm.
anytime you create that social anxiety there, someone's going to grab onto it and capitalize on it for protest or raising a flag. So what we have seen, even in the world where, weapons detection is a huge component of what we do, it's the things
Hmm.
like I had mentioned to you about, the looking up in the steel, right?
Hmm.
My days of working with the NFL. It was at the Minnesota Vikings when the guy wrapped himself up with a banner and had his rigging gear inside of it. Well, that's not something you're going to see in metal detection, but how do you further that? What is your posture that you're looking at from security? Oh, somebody has bulky clothes on and a raincoat at a indoor event in Las Vegas. Hmm, so it's changing some of those things
Yeah.
for the protest side. The big thing I would say when it comes to AI on the benefit of security is with, open source that's out there and the use of AI, your intelligence, even though it's overkill and flooded with intelligence now, is much easier found. So if you start to look
Hmm.
at
Hmm.
a group that is protesting, or a group that maybe doesn't like this company or what have you, utilizing AI to analyze past history in the realm of intelligence is really turning to a good direction. And then the other piece with the usage of AI that I personally find is how I put together information, because ultimately at a security consulting level, I'm managing multi
Hmm.
resources to include guard services. How do I give
Right.
them better information? How can I get them information that's intuitive? There are new things that we're actually working through and beta testing right now, where on your phone, you can go onto an app and use an AI bot that says, where is the information desk at, the Linux Foundation
Yeah.
go? And within seconds, that answer is to them. That's now replacing things like post orders. It's something that
Hmm.
and that gets folded up, wadded, and thrown away. So
Hmm.
the elevation of being able to give quick and concise information that doesn't have to go through, you know, an endless scroll on a phone or a tablet,
Right.
it's really turned the opportunities for communication in a much different way than was ever there before.
Yeah. Hey Siri, find me
Yeah, yeah, and it's coming along. I mean, again, playing with
Here's
all of
one
them, whether it's Claude, Siri,
Yeah.
Gemini. I had to play with all of them right now just to see what is going to give me the quickest answers to providing a better result than spending 45 minutes of
Hmm.
a document.
Hmm. Um, do you ever run into ambush advertising type stuff? I mean, those are almost protests, but not anti. They're more.
Correct. They're more pro to
Yeah.
a brand, a given
Yeah.
brand. So, not that I have experience. I have friends who have experience, especially like in the music world,
Oh yeah, I bet.
where you have quite a bit of that happening. We do see it, and it's more in the physical sense, where it's ambush advertising. Traditionally called suitcasing in the convention and
Mm,
trade show world,
okay.
where someone is literally putting out pamphlets and what have you. Or I just had a show that I was on. A guy had a brightly colored, shimmering jacket, and on the back of it, it had all of his company's information to include, QR codes and what have you. So when those things happen, there's no way to mitigate it other than hoping, and then in most cases, most shows have a good code of conduct that you can
Hmm.
go back to and come and address that with them and say, hey,
Oh yeah.
you're outside the scope of the code of conduct. I'm sorry, you can't be here. It's hard when it gets to
Uh-huh.
be like a mass ambush,
Yes.
those kind of things,
Right.
they're going to get their point across. You just don't
Flash
have
mobs.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they're badged, especially if they've come through all the proper channels
Mm,
to do it. But you do see it occasionally on the exterior of shows.
mhm,
Again, quasi along the line of protest, but I've had shows, and let's just use something way off the radar here. Let's just say it was a Chevy truck show,
mhm,
and
mhm,
right outside of the entrance, the restaurant right there was completely bought out by Ford.
mhm. Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it, right? You
Yeah.
you can't, but as long as they stay where they are in the space they've been in and where our space is, you let it exist
Yeah.
in the universe and have a couple of
Right.
Chevy guys get some beer on the Ford guys. It's just let it be.
Right. It slightly reminds me of there's some pretty ingenious stickers on some mirrors at Detroit when we were there.
Believe
And
it.
I was like, wow, that's pretty smart. But
I've
yeah.
seen it. I mean, I was just at a show in San Diego where all of them, you mentioned mirrors, but it had a mirror image and just a picture of a face on it from a
Hmm.
competitor.
Okay.
Great, great advertising, right? Went in there and
Yes.
put it in the right time, the right place. And then we had to call and ask for the cleaning people to come and scrape them off. So,
Right.
yeah.
So they survived for a few minutes,
Yeah.
no doubt. But
Good for
yeah.
them. Good for them. Just go away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, that's about it for me. I'll let you go, but thank
Appreciate
you.
that. And it's good seeing
Yes.
you, Tim. And anytime, reach out if you need anything or anybody, your listeners or what have you. Feel free to populate anything you have out there, and be more than happy to connect and see where it goes.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Good seeing you. Take care.
See you. Bye.